You know, since I'm on the topic, let's talk about Yes some more. Or more specifically, let's talk about one of the Yes albums that nobody remembers. Because, Yes are the kind of band where nobody ever really talks about the Yes albums before a certain period, and nobody ever really talks about the Yes albums after a certain period. And in this case, we're going to talk about before. Honestly, most of the Yes albums after 1983 either don't deserve to be talked about at all or deserve a full-blown episode because, oh boy, does it get bad. No, I'm going to be talking today about the very first Yes album from back in 1969. Now, the lineup is a little different, but it's not as different as you might think. Basically, it's just the Yes album, but with a different guitarist. We got Peter Banks instead of Steve Howe. Peter Banks is an interesting guy. He's not as good as Steve Howe, but by the same token, he's not as inferior to Steve Howe as I had been led to believe he would be. The guitar work on this album is still pretty impressive, but I should probably talk about the music at this point. Anyway, Yes at this point were not really a prog band. They were... I don't even really know what to call them. They were jazz fusion-y and weird and a little melodramatic. And at times they kind of remind me even a little bit of Vanilla Fudge, but with way better playing and a lead singer who sounds like a woman. And therefore, as you might suspect, there are two absolutely fantastic covers on this album. First off, this incredible version of I See You by the Byrds.
Watching tulips out of space, sitting there, I love you. At your door, second floor, this world war, I love you.
Where they add this jazzy breakdown in mid-song that just is just absolutely fantastic. And then towards the end of the album, there's this amazing version of Every Little Thing by the Beatles, which just completely transforms that song. They do it so differently from the Beatles, and yet it's so good.
Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the thing she does for me.
The original songs on here are very good as well, with probably my favorites being Beyond and Before, the opener, Sweetness, a fantastic little ballady pop song, and then Harold Land, which is easily my favorite track on the album. Overall, it's all good, but my one critique of the album is that there are certain tracks where I just kind of forget them when the album is over, and overall, Yes hadn't really hit their stride as songwriters yet. All in all, it's a very strong start for a band like Yes, and if you're somebody who really enjoys this band and wants to know everything they've done, I, of course, would highly recommend this album. On the other hand, though, if you're somebody who pretty much just enjoys the 71 to 1980 stuff, or even more so the 71 to 77 stuff, I'd maybe stay away from this one. It's not really prog yet, and it's just kind of whatever Yes we're into in 1969.